It is pretty rare. It's pretty hard to melt down as well, especially when you have one of your closest friends with you here as well. And I mean, I think we're both putting Malmo on the map here at UE.
Made in Malmo, I'm Joe Downs for the ACES Insider. It's rare to have multiple international players from the same country on the same team, but from the same city? Now that's special. The University of Evansville men's soccer team has a Swedish pair extraordinaire in Philip Johansson and Johan Hellander, who both hail from the southern city of Malmo, Sweden.
It's a great city. I love it. Third biggest city in Sweden. Best soccer team in Sweden, though. It's a great city. I love it.
Do you ever get homesick?
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do. Obviously, I think everyone does. That's not from around here.
It's a fantastic city. It connects to Denmark, which I think is very good. It's a multinational country now, which I can see as a positive thing as well, taking people to start a new life. And I think Malmo is a big part of that, because they're coming in from Denmark or wherever they come from. And Malmo is a very friendly and a very nice city to live in.
Now, Philip was the first to emigrate to Evansville last year as part of head coach Marshall Ray's Scandinavian pipeline, which includes Danish players Fredrik Reimer, Simon Waver, and now Matthias Nors.
It's just like any other profession. People you trust, networks that you create, friendships you have. Fortunate enough to get over to Denmark a few times, and obviously had some little bit of success recruiting there, and that kind of led into Malmo and Sweden, being just over the border from Denmark through Copenhagen. With Philip coming over, it allowed us to get a few more contacts there with some coaches and things like that, and obviously Philip and Johan knew each other before they came over, and that was an important part of the process.
So going back to Sweden was a natural decision. However, it took some convincing to get Johan to buy in.
Well, Johan tore his ACL back home, and I already committed. And during his rehab, I spoke with him and said, hey, have you ever thought about college? And he gave it a thought, and I gave Coach Ray the details to Johan. I think he felt pretty confident about it, but then at some point he just said that he didn't think he was ready for it. And yeah, it went a month, and then I told Coach Ray again, like, just give me one more chance to get him over here.
I knew my old team back in Sweden, they just got promoted into a better division, so it was going to be really difficult for me to take place in that first squad. So I was talking to Philip, and he said how much he liked it here, and I was just very intrigued by it. Just the guys in the team, they've all welcomed me very well, and just great bunch of lads all.
He's played at a pretty high level with Malmo, and his brother now is playing with the Swedish national team, was at the World Cup, so he's got a good reference point to bounce some ideas and things off, but he's also got some experience. I think physically he still needs to develop, and athletically, but I think that's why he came to the States, to do those things. He's got a very high soccer IQ, he's very calm on the ball, very comfortable on the field, good communicator with the rest of the team, and kind of solidifies things when he's back there.
Now the move has definitely been a win-win, but it hasn't come without pain, as Johan re-injured his knee midway through the season. It was a shining example of this duo's friendship.
I was there when he tore his ACL his second time, and I just heard him scream. Like, I've heard him scream once, and that was that game, that practice when he tore his ACL. I didn't even care about the ball, if the ball was out or still in play. Like, some things are more important than that. I really felt for him and just hoping that it wasn't his ACL. When I ran over there, I saw tears in his eyes, and I just heard him scream, and it wasn't nothing serious about his knee, which it wasn't, fortunately.
He's a great kid, and we've known each other for I think 9 years, so he's one of my best friends.
Looking back now, it's hard to believe that these two weren't always the best of friends. When they first began their soccer careers back home in Malmo, they actually were on opposite sides of the pitch, as were their fathers.
I think they played against each other since they were 5 years old, and they did that for a couple of years. We have a long time going back since Johan's dad, Mats, he was the coach of their team, and I was the coach for Philip's team, so it's quite fun having them here.
We've been friends for 9 years, I think it is. And we went to the same high school, same class. It was there the friendship started for real.
It was insane. I just remember playing against him a lot of times before we then went to the same school. And we kind of knew each other before that, but just our friendship just grew with time.
And with being thousands of miles from home, Philip and Johan's friendship has only grown stronger here at UE.
He is one of my best friends, and it feels amazing to have him here. I mean, it's a guy I can talk with everything, even if it's bad or good stuff. He's always a guy I can trust, know that will give me the response. Not necessarily the one I want, but the truth. He always tells me the truth, whether it's positive or negative. That's a friend you need to have in your life, and I'm fortunate to have Johan there.
Talk about how things used to be when we went to school back home, and when we played each other back home, and yeah, we talk about home all the time.
The pipeline to Malmo, and I think when Johan came over, Philip's second semester, it was a little bit of security for both of them to have each other and have the Swedish connection.
Getting him over here was a big thing for UE, but a bigger thing for me. Have a guy you can talk your language with, same friends back home as we hang out with, same story. We're looking through pictures on our phones and just looking back at the memories and knowing like we have known each other for a while, and look what it turned out to be.
For the ACES Insider, I'm Joe Downs. And remember, you can keep up with all things Evansville athletics on GoPurpleAces.com, as well as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and our YouTube channel.